Hi guys, welcome back. In this video, we'll look at strings in Python. Strings are contained in string objects. A string object stores a sequence of characters like so this is a string object. It can be echoed by the shell. For example, we can just do all kinds of things on such a sequence of characters, such as looking for another string within the string, splitting string into a few slices, get a copy of a section of a string, and heaps more. First of all, let's just see how we can declare a string. It's quite intuitive, like a string. Python is fun. So this assignment statement makes a variable called a string point to a string object, that is, Python is fun, just as shown in this diagram. So you can see here we've got a variable, okay, which is a label for a memory space. And in this memory space, the characters in the string object is stored like this. Here, you may have noticed that Python is fun is surrounded by a pair of single quotes like this, okay? In fact, you can also use a pair of double quotes. So we can also do string Python is fun. So you can also do that. So what if I like a string to span several lines in my code? So we can do this. Multi-line string. So you can use the so-called triple quotes. Then we can just spread the line on multiple lines. This is okay. Just be sure to close the string with the equal triple quotes. Okay, and we can just see what happens after that. Oh, I just typed the wrong variable name. Let's get this one right. Yes, okay. So you can see here, when we do the triple quotes for the multiple line texts, you can see this text is still just stored in the memory in one line. Okay. Of course, in memories, there are no just a kind of the form of a one line. Okay, it's just a character by characters. And as you can notice here, we have this slash and n combination here. So what is this and this here? As you can see here, our text is spread on 3 lines, and there are 2 line breaks. One is here, and the other is here. So these are marked by this kind of so-called escape sequence. Okay. So these characters are also stored in memory together with the other characters. So the new line characters, just you see, sorry, are shown to us in this kind of escape sequence. And escape sequences are quite common in languages like Python and C, C++, and Java. They are used to represent characters that cannot be seen obviously when printed. Okay, I'll come to escape sequences in later videos. Okay, however, when you use the print function to print the multi-line string, you will only just get exactly like what you have typed in, right? Okay, so here you can see the new line characters are turned into actual new lines. So that's quite handy. How about a single character? In Python, a single character is represented still by a string that contains only one character. For example, a char, like C, okay? So let's see. A char is stored as a string of length 1. Let's just find out the length of a char using the Python's built-in len function. Okay, so you can see the length is 1. The len function is just, you see, a Python's built-in function for finding out the length of a string, however short it is. Now let's look at some Python functions for manipulating strings. There are a large number of such functions in Python. If you are curious to see more, you may head on to the Python documentation website to explore. First, Python has a special function to combine a number of strings into a whole string, like plus string. You will get a whole string, like a string. Similarly, the asterisk sign is used to repeat a string. If we want to repeat a string 3 times, we just do this. So you can see string, string, string. It is repeated 3 times. So what happens if you just multiply a string with just a 0 or negative number? Let's try out. String 0. Oh, you got an empty string, okay? So this is an empty string, which just contains no character. It has a length of 0. We often just use an empty string to initialize a string variable, just like S is an empty string. And we can use it to stick together other strings. Let's see what happened to S. Okay, so first, it just concatenates A or and then it concatenates space string, and it just put them into a whole string, like a string. And you may have noticed this combination of plus equals, okay? So this is a shorthand for this formula. You can do this with all other arithmetic operators, like A equals sign 5, A minus equals 5 will produce 0, A multiplies equals 5 will produce obviously still 0 because A is got 0 here. Let's give A a new value, x3. So A multiply equals 5, we'll get U15, right? And A now is 15. Let's just do A divided equals 5. Let's do maybe 5, and you'll get A like 3.0. What if we do A modulo equals 2? Obviously, we'll just get 1.0. We can even do just the squares. A squares equal 2, that is 1 squared, you still get 1 because A is 1. If it is squared, it's still just the 1.0. Okay. Then let's just look at some functions for searching a string within another string. To do this, we can use one of the two functions. Let's just use a comment to introduce the two functions, index and find. Okay, so these are two functions for searching a string within another string. Let's look at index first. For example, if we have a string that is, this is a Python string. And let's do this. Let's see whether we can just search is a in a string. Okay, index is 5 because here the index of I in is a is in the 5th place in this string. 0, we count from 0 in string for index. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we just returns 5 when we use index. So the return value is the index of the search string, okay, of its first occurrence in the original string. If there was another is a, the index of that is not returned because that is not the first one. The first one is here. Okay. So if the search string is not found, what will happen? Let's do index a string find is A. So you can see an exception will be thrown, and with this error message, substring not found. Using the index function, you can even search a string in a section of another string, like index string index Python. And 5. So this means searching Python in a string starting at index 5 of a string, and index will be 10. Okay, because you see the index for the first occurrence of Python in this string is 10. Here is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Okay. And how about this? we still search Python, but here we just search it within 5 to 18 of the original string. Index will still be 10. So you can see that in both cases, the index of the search string is the index in the original string, okay, not in the substring, okay, as delimited by these indexes. And sorry, similarly, if the search string is not found, okay, what will happen? It is still, oh yes, I guess got the wrong variable number again. This spelling. Let's do it again. So we just search Python starting with the lowercase p in the range of index 5 to 8. So what will happen? The string, the substring Python is not found. Okay. So if you do not want to see these, you see exception error messages, you can use another function that is a find function to search a string within another string. So what's the difference between find and index? When find cannot find the search string, it returns a negative number such as -1 instead of throwing an exception. But like the index function, when find does find the search string, it returns the index of the first occurrence of the search string in the original string. For example, index string find a Python string. Okay, so here a string is, this is a Python string. Okay, so index will be 8, because the index of A in a string is 8. So what if the search string is not found? Let's do index string find a Java string instead. The index will be -1. So it's easy to just check whether the string is within, the search string is within the original string. And similar to index function, you can also search a string within just a section of the original string using finds. I just leave this for you to try out yourself. Okay, now let's see how we can extract a substring from a string. To achieve this purpose, Python conveniently provides a subscripting scheme for obtaining a substring. For example, to get a Python string from a string, we can write substring equals sign a string 8 to 16. So what's substring here? Is a Python, okay? Because you can see here, a string is, this is a Python string, and starting from index A, index 8 is the character A, and the substring will be the section just from index 8 all the way through index 15. That would be n. Okay, so it's a Python, just the results. And you may notice that here we just provide the ending index as 16, but the character, which is a space here, is not returned. That means 16 is not included. So a substring obtained this way includes the starting index, but excludes the ending index. If we only supply the starting index, like substring in a string, we just start at 5 and followed by a colon. So what we will get is a Python string. So this just is a substring starts at index 5, which is here, and goes all the way up to, but not including the last character. So by the way, the index for the last character of the string is the length of the string minus 1, like (23). And alternatively, if you only supply the ending index, like colon 10, if the ending index is 10, what do we get? Substring is, this is a. Okay, so here a string is, again, this is a Python string. And you can see here, if we only provide the index 10, so the substring just starts at index 0 and goes all the way up to, but not includes 10, which is a space. Okay, which is the character P, okay, which is P. So you can just see this diagram. It starts at 0 and it ends on 9 instead of 10. So it does not include this ending index. Okay. Okay. So you can also just obtain any character in the string by supplying just a single index without the colon, like a char cosine a string 3. So a char will be the fourth character, 0, 1, 2, 3, S. So S is returned. And there is a quick way to produce a copy of the original string. We can do a copy string and just supply the colon. You will get a copy of the original string. So here you can see here. So what if I only want to just get every other character in the string? Like I only want to get H, S, I, space, P. Let's do this. So to do that, we can just supply an additional parameter to the subscripts, like substring substring 2. So let's see what substring is. It's just every other character in the original string. You can find out. So here, the 2 is the parameter called the step. And another example would be, if you want to just get every third character in the original string, starting from index 2 and ending on index 9, you do this. Now substring just become only IIA. Because from 2, this is 2, to 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Okay, so you got every third. So you just get IIA. Believe it or not, the indexes supplied in the brackets can be negative as well. So in this case, -1 marks the last character in the string, and -2 marks the second to last character, and so on, as shown here. So if you just count from the beginning to the end, you'll get 0 to 7 for a string. But if you count from end to beginning, you start at the end with -1. And you just count down until to the beginning. Okay. So you got just the -8 as the last. That is minus the length of the string. That is -8. So let's just look at some examples. Here, a str is like a string, and you got a str -1, that is G, a str -2, you got N, and so on. So that will just go on until the first character in the string is reached by the, you see, -len, a string, okay? You got a -8. Let's try it. Okay. Okay, guys, that's a lot we covered in this video. In our next video, we just cover more about Python strings. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give me a like. Welcome to subscribe my channel for more interesting stuff about Python. Bye.